Royal, can I have a next slide? Well, yeah, okay. So you met me, and you probably heard me talking to Royal, invisible person, who is basically organizing this event, and he's a tech support. He's actually not only he's tech support only by this event, but in reality, he's actually very knowledgeable and great help for many different aspects of graduate studies and academic and programs for Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science. So Royal and I work closely together, and he's a problem solver and and very nice person with lots of knowledge about how university works and how things get resolved and so on. So that's another person that you'll probably hear from occasionally throughout your studies. Thank you all for organizing this event, and I think we can move on. So as Tom mentioned earlier, in Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science, we have many graduate programs in 11 different disciplines. You know, we have PhDs, Master of Applied Science, which is research degrees, Master of Engineering, which is more kind of professional orientation and course options, professional master's diploma in all of these disciplines. You know, we are very diverse, and we have several interdisciplinary programs, which are interdisciplinary across the faculty. One of them is biomedical engineering, that basically spans across electrical and computer engineering, chemical engineering, and mechanical industrial engineering. So it's a very diverse and interesting program. The other one is, even though building science as a discipline is very diverse and also interdisciplinary, even though it's placed within the Department of Architectural Science. And finally, engineering innovation and entrepreneurship. Again, very innovative program that we started 4 years ago, or 5, I can't remember now, very successful in many other ways. So in the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science, last year numbers that we have 11 disciplines, we have 27 programs, we have 6 research and innovation clusters, we have 4 zones, and you will hear about them more, because zones is something that it's very Ryerson developed, basically where we encourage entrepreneurial aspect or spirit of our students and faculty members to develop new things outside of their curricular and main research foci. And about 1,100 students, graduate students. So out of almost 3,000 at Ryerson, 1,100 are from Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science, which is about 38%. So you can see that we are the largest student body, graduate student body at Ryerson. In our academic plan, which is kind of now coming to an end, we are developing a new one, our goals at the faculties is recruitment of outstanding students, providing exceptional student experience, engaging students in top quality scholarly research and creative activities. We have a strong quality assurance of graduate studies and outstanding support, student support and services. And finally, we encourage and foster professionalism, ethics, academic and research integrity, leadership, and entrepreneurship in our students. You will hear more about it today. So in the past 5 years, you know, these are the goals, and I'm very glad to say that we are achieved lots of it, and it, you know, and improved on many of these things, especially on the graduate students' experience and helping, you know, to grow our programs. So yeah, I just want to reflect again. You know, you probably may be confused about Dean Tom Duver and then Dean Corey Searcy that you haven't met today, but Associate Dean Carl Koumaradas. So at Ryerson University, graduate studies are decentralized. So you know, yes, we do have a vice provost and a dean of graduate studies who oversees all graduate programs at Ryerson University, and basically represent the School of Graduate Studies who are developing different programming related to extracurricular activities. They are dealing with policies. They are helping, you know, in new program approvals and so on. So in the Yates School of Graduate Studies, apart from the Vice Pro VP and the Dean, there's Associate Dean Carl Koumaradas, who you met, and there's another Associate Dean for Students and Student Issues, Nancy Walton. And they have amazing support and staff team. But when I say decentralized, it means that your graduate programs are actually placed in the departments. So, you know, we know that they are placed in the departments, and then there's a person over there people actually who are your first point of contact. So for example, if you are in mechanical industrial engineering, you will have there a program director or associate chair, how we call it in that, and a program administrator, and that these are your first point of contact. So except for two interdisciplinary programs that I mentioned earlier, all of the other programs are placed within the departments, which is actually very good because there's a great support happening from the department and within a discipline. Majority of you who are eligible to get a GA positions or graduate assistant positions, how we call them at Ryerson, which is basically teaching assistantship positions, you will be working within your own department, doing the work with your professors within your discipline and so on. So the graduate program and the department chair report directly to our FEAS associate dean, Dr. Tom Duver. But at the same time, you know, the great support that we provide, me and my office as associate dean graduate studies and graduate studies coordinator Royal Reyes. So we all report to our dean, Tom Duver, and as you can see, if you met him, when you met him, he's a great advocate and supporter of graduate studies, and he's providing quite a bit of support for graduate students. I'm sorry, it seems that we are going a little bit faster in this than so I'm getting a message that I should slow down. So I'm sorry that I'm a little bit out of tune, because coordinating when we are not in person across Zoom, across many different parts of the city and many different parts of the country is not always easy. So I apologize for this brief interruption. So you all are starting studies in your graduate programs, and you probably met even by distance through emails some of the main people, either graduate program administrator, most probably because lots of correspondence are going through them, and in some cases associate chair for graduate program or graduate program directors. So here I am listing all the names in your programs, the contact person and most important people. So for aerospace engineering, you have building science. I put a different color for architecture because as Tom mentioned, this is a professional program that leads to the licensure in you know, architectural profession. And then we have these interdisciplinary program that are very professional in terms of application in industry right after computer networks, PMDIP, Professional Master's Diploma in Energy and Innovation, and of course, Master of Engineering, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, which we talked about it today. I want to give you one advice that I'm hoping you will take, and remember it when you need to contact your program. Graduate program administrators are amazing people. They are working very hard to make sure that your studies are going as smooth as possible. They're handling lots of administration, paperwork, stipends, accounting, organizing, defenses, and so on. So they are your first point of contact for anything that you need, academic or non-academic, sometimes just a person to chat or to talk to or ask for advice. So be very nice to them. They are working very hard. Each of them has hundreds of students to deal with, and be patient sometimes if they don't respond to you very immediately, because as I said, there are hundreds of students in some of the programs and they are working all of that they're handling by themselves. Graduate program administrators can help you a lot. So be nice to them, be polite to them. They are great. And I've been working with all of them for many years and I have all the best to say. So So please respect them, be nice to them, and they can help you a lot. And I wanted to say program directors as well, but that's kind of a little bit more serious conversation. But you know, as I said, your program admin is the first point of contact, and treat them really with respect, because they are just amazing. They are making the world run in terms of graduate studies. So hopefully you will remember that when you need something. So this slide we will post separately, because there's a lot to see here and you don't have to remember everything, but basically identifies the roles and responsibilities of us, all of us who are involved in the graduate studies in a different ways, and also will help you to decide, okay, if I have this issue, where do I go first, right? So don't worry, you don't have to remember everything. But most probably, for many cases, your program administrator, GPA, will be the first point of contact. And if they cannot help you, they will direct you where to go. So as I said, we don't have to go through everything, but you know, so admissions, student funding, thesis and dissertation defenses, graduation eligibility, that's all what I mentioned before. This time of year is by far the busiest time of year in a life of all of us involved in graduate studies, but specifically graduate program administrators, because we have one cohort of students trying to finish by the end of August, early September, so they can graduate in the fall and not pay another term. So there's lots of stress over there and rush to finish. And then all of you new students who are coming, and we want to welcome you, we want to organize and make sure that your start of studies is going as smooth as possible. So the life of PAs, graduate program administrators, is very busy these days. So again, be nice to them, be patient, and you will get your answers, I guarantee you, in a very timely manner. The graduate program director or associate chair, how they are called in some programs, they are kind of looking at the broader academic issues. They are looking for the program quality. They can help also with more higher level academic advices, directions, and so on. For many of you who are doing your research, your main person is actually that you are working with is supervisor and an academic advisor. You talk to them about course selections, about your research, professional development, and also, you know, they can really advise you not only in terms of research, but in terms of life, career, and so on and so on. And then as Associate Dean for Graduate Studies, my role is to oversee all the programs in Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science, to look at different strategies, oversight, funding, plan implementations, and so on and so on. So yeah, we don't need to go to really details, because lots of it I mentioned, and you will also have this posted, so take a look afterwards. So yeah, this is how Ryerson looks like usually when we don't have a COVID pandemic and when we can walk freely in the streets. So it's very busy and lively and bustling part of the city, as a university as well, but also as a part of a downtown Toronto. And it looks a little bit different today, but we are hoping that in time, you know, we'll go back to this. Toronto is a very beautiful city. And if you, or when you arrive here eventually, you know, take a walk sometimes. There are many interesting things to see. It's, as I mentioned before, it's the largest Canadian city, both in terms of population and in terms of space that it takes. But it's also very interesting. The fact that we are on a lake gives us very nice lake shore. There are even some beaches that people are taking some advantages during this summer. There are many ravines or very nice parks that you can spend time surrounded by greenery and basically not believe that you are a few steps away from the busy street. So yeah, it's very, I've been living here for 16 years now, and I really consider Toronto my city and my home. In addition to what Dr. Kumaradas mentioned about the programming, extracurricular programming that the Yates School of Graduate Studies is organizing, We also have meaning Faculty of FEAS, the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science Graduate Studies Office. We also organize a set of workshops that will help you in your professional development and or other sort of to deal with other issues. So they're extracurricular activities. They're not you're not going to get credit for it. However, this is very useful knowledge that will help you not only navigate through your graduate studies, but perhaps in your future career. The difference between those workshops or programming or organized by YSGS and by FEAS is that ours are basically focusing on engineering as a practice and architecture as well as a profession or a practice, and dealing with a little bit more specific issues that are really more pertinent to you and your careers and your potential issues that you are dealing. In addition, we are doing preparations also we're organizing preparation for grant research or external award applications, because that's a skill that one researcher needs to learn, because this is how you basically try to explain to other people, this is my research and this is why it is important and this is why I deserve to be funded, so give me money so I can do that. So it's a skill, and we all learn it, or we are learning it through our graduate studies, and it's a trial and error, but with the workshops, we try to help you, we provide you with the tips, how to do it, and how to be successful. So we are organizing this as well. And again, be mindful, there will be announcement and invitations to sign up for these things and to take advantage of these free workshops. One of the good things is to do so is, while you're a graduate student, all these things are free. After you graduate, and as a professional, when you need to do these professional development courses, then you have to pay for them. So whenever you can, take the advantage of these offerings, because we put a lot of effort to organize them to be relevant, as well as to answer your students' feedback on what do they think is good, what do they think they were missing, and so on and so on. In addition to studying and workshops, well, workshops a little bit, and your really, research and everything else, we try to encourage students to step out of the lab, step out of the classroom, or at least, in reality, and mingle with other students and colleagues. And now that I know that this year, this is going to be more virtual, but nevertheless, it's very important to meet your peers, even as in virtual way, because one day we will go back, and one day we will meet in person. So I want to present you also with what else is being done here. So Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science, we have FEAS Grad newsletter, e-newsletter. It goes out every week, usually on Wednesdays. And again, you will be automatically subscribed to it as soon as you matriculate. This is it's not big, like we always do it very short, but usually remind you of certain deadlines, remind you of here's the, new scholarship deadline is coming soon. Don't forget to submit. We featured some of our students who win awards inside and outside of Ryerson, and provide you with some interesting tips. So it's not sort of cumbersome. It's not too long and wordy that you have to see, but it's kind of nice weekly reminder to stay in touch and to remind you of some of the important things that happens. Sometimes we do poster competitions, sometimes we do social media, little contests and so on. And there's always little awards, usually cash rewards or something, and it's kind of nice to kind of give you a little break of your studies and do something fun and potentially win a little bit of money. So some of these contests, this is just a sort of a screenshot of different that happened over the year. So again, it was fun, and we have pretty good participation. So, again, sign up for social media, for our Twitter to Instagram. I'll have those in the end as well, in addition to those from YSGS, because all of this information is compatible with each other, and you know, it's fun. Usually I meet with students on a regular basis, but especially during the COVID times, we organized so-called virtual coffee breaks, and we, you know, do Zoom meetings, and, you know, together with graduate students, whoever sign up from different program, and it's kind of nice to see some familiar faces, to talk, sometimes about academic issues, sometimes about funding, sometimes just about, you know, what did you learn? What do you cook? Can we exchange a recipe? Who makes the best coffee? And so on. It's really sort of nice way to relax a little bit, and to meet your peers from another programs, and just to chit chat, you know, about something else. So we had a little bit of a break in the last 3-4 weeks because of some vacations and preparation for new academic year, but we'll resume these coffee breaks, virtual coffee breaks, very soon. So, you know, see in your email announcements about the time and link, and sign up for that. You know what? I learn from graduate students as much as I hope they learn from me. So I think this is always a very nice way to have a little break. The workshops that I mentioned before, I mean, we're going to issue the schedule very soon, but this is from last year's. But on the right side of the screen, you will see different social calendar for events organized by FEAS Grad Ambassadors Group. But then get connected with them. It's again a very nice refreshment from stress of studying and doing exams and doing different curricular demands, but you know, meet your peers and do something fun. So these are the dates from the last or year before, actually, what they did: bowling, pumpkin carving, sometimes pub nights. We organized Santa Claus, going together at a Santa Claus parade with those graduate students who have small children, because there are many in FEAS. There are many graduate students who are actually more mature and have families. And other type of games, going to the Matami Center to watch the hockey game of Ryerson together. All of that was done in person last year and previous year. And but these days we are trying to organize something virtually, so at least, you know, you can enjoy a little bit your life as a graduate student. Usually this event, in reality, like when we do it in person, culminates or finishes up with going to the island and having a barbecue organized by Graduate Ambassadors Group. So I'm really sorry that we cannot do it today, but I promise you, once all of this is over and you come in person, we will organize the barbecue and in-person mingling and sharing the food, even though it's not going to be a welcome event, but meeting in person event. So I promise you we will do that once all of this is over. Yeah, in addition to this, we organize different grad talks or lecture series. For example, Life After PhD, when we invited many different people who finished their PhDs with the different career paths to tell the story, or how did they ended up doing different types of jobs, and how their PhD studies helped them, or graduate studies helped them to achieve those goals. We also had the grad talk about engineering wellness. We as engineers, we don't want to, we are sometimes very shy to admit, you know, that stress of everyday life and stress of graduate studies, when, you know, you have high achievements, you have academic achievements to reach and goals to reach, but also there's like financial troubles and family and so on. All of these things are really getting to us, and you know, apart from being the most, in a way, most fun time of your life, it's possible that it's going to be stressful, especially now in this situation of COVID, when we are sometimes cooped in our homes and not able to talk to our colleagues in person. So to be able to talk about it. It's not shameful. It's not, we don't have to be shy about it, you know, but learning how to talk about it and how to sort of deal with it, it's very important. Sometimes just talking to your friends and discussing the problems helps a lot. I'm joking that every week, or especially during the COVID situation, we meet together, Associate Deans of Graduate Studies in Engineering of Ontario. So for all Ontario universities who have a graduate studies in engineering, we meet bi-weekly, especially during the COVID situation. We meet on Zoom and talk to each other about the problems that they are facing. So apart from learning from each other, I'm joking, we are joking that this is a kind of very nice, I can cry on your shoulder because you will understand me, dealing with the issues, you know, and challenges that we have to deal. Since we have to deal with the stresses of everyday life. So don't worry, we'll organize more of these events hopefully in the future. Oh yeah, and these contacts, this is from Ryerson Graduate Studies event that Carl already mentioned, so I'm not going to repeat it, but we will have that. Yes, so this is again another benefit of being in person. We also organize a grad showcase where we had students presenting their ongoing research, and this is a nice, very nice event. Usually it's also tied with today's welcome event, where existing students or current students who are already here show you their work, and you know, again, you can meet somebody, and then we have a little competition that you know, and monetary awards for the best posters. Again, we can't do it in person this time, but I promise you, as soon as we can come back, we will do it again. Okay, I think I mentioned this before. These are the contact of all the contact information for all the graduate program administrators.